Next slide. All right. Let's celebrate the fact that the Democrat won Boca Raton mayor's race. Okay? 5 votes. Don't think the work that we do doesn't count. 5 votes we won that on. And that was on the heels of winning the Miami mayor's race in December. Okay? It is the first time in 30 years that Boca Raton has had a Democrat run it. And the same is true for Miami. Folks, the tide is turning. Okay, and coming up on March 24th, if you leave, please pick up don't leave, please don't leave. There's a lot, I got lots of good stuff here. But please pick up a canvassing kit and a turf number on your way out, because we need everybody to participate in some way if we are going to turn the tide here in Florida. All right, so on March 24th, there's 3 more races, okay? One is in House District 87, Palm Beach County, home of Mar-a-Lago. Okay, and then another one in Hillsborough, another one in Polk. So you all can there are phone bank opportunities that the FDP, Florida Democratic Party, is making available. We want them to help us. We need to help them. Okay, I put out notification to the DEC, but if you want to participate in that, please give the folks outside your email address before you leave, and I will see to that you get it. You can phone bank this weekend for the vote that's happening on March 24th in those 3 counties. All right, next slide. All right, this handout that you all have, we're gonna turn to that, and I'm gonna go through the different ways in which you all can participate. Canvassing. We have a lot of precincts in Florida that we're referring to. Please pick up your canvassing kits on the way out, folks, if you're leaving. Because there are places where we don't have precinct leaders or street captains, and we have to reach those people. And we make it easy. You get a turf kit. There's an app called Minivan, and you'll see on your handout, there's a QR code to download the app. There's also a QR code that you can, it's a YouTube video where you can learn how to use it. The script is in there, and it opens with, do you want to help us get Democrats elected in 2026? And just follow it. And why is this important? Why is this important now? Research, time and time again, shows that 95% of the Democrats that register for vote by mail actually vote, regardless of how they vote. If it's early voting, vote by mail at the polls. Whereas only 50% of the Democrats who don't sign up for vote by mail actually vote. That's why we focus on that at this point in time. We also collect information. We make sure that we have their up-to-date email address, their up-to-date phone number, because if something happens and their ballot gets kicked out, and in this stage, we're prepared for that. That's called voter protection. We have a real number and a real email address in which to reach out to those folks to say, hey, your ballot didn't count. You've got to fix your signature, or whatever the case may be. So that's number one, and that's the best way, the most effective way to reach potential voters with that direct engagement. Next slide. We also have a virtual phone bank, which is very easy. You have a QR code for that. And again, the script is the same as it is in our canvassing. Do you want to help us get Democrats elected? So all you need is your cell phone, and once you fill this out, you go online, and it all, it generates the list of people for you to call along with this script, and you could do it from home in your pajamas, with a cup of coffee. Or you could have friends over and do it. And we're going to try to implement something at the office where we have a telephone day where we're doing it in the office. So that's the next one. The third is the Street Captain program, which is the next. And for those of you who your handout didn't get collated correctly, I know some are upside down, I apologize, but hey, overall we do pretty good. So a street captain is, do you want to meet the Democratic neighbors in your neighborhood? Because you may not know who they are. You may think you're the only Democrat there. If you fill out this, open up the QR code, there's a little form, and you say, I want this territory, and you define the neighborhood that you want to canvass. And then you get an email with that turf list, all the people who are Democrats and left-leaning NPAs, which is no party affiliation, and instructions on how to be a street captain. It's a great way to build community. So I would encourage you to do that. There's a lot of people in the audience here who have been street captains, and it's very rewarding to know that there's people that live in your neighborhood that think the way you do. Next slide. I think you missed one. Can you go back? I guess not. Go ahead. The one thing that I'm not seeing up there is Action Tuesday. Every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., you can come in on a walk-in basis. And we always have something to do. This past week, we did vote-by-mail postcards to targeted what we refer to as orphan districts. Sometimes we compile canvassing kits. Sometimes we make signs for No King's Day. But there's always something, and that you can just come into the office between 11 and 3 on Tuesday. Advocacy. So, I've got up here on your list, there's two tools that I would recommend. 5calls.org, where your congresspeople are loaded, the call to action is loaded. We do that in Action Tuesday as well. And then Digital Democracy Project, that's where you could actually vote on a bill and your representatives can see how their constituents are feeling about something. I would urge you to, next slide. Oh, okay, well. I would urge you to subscribe to our newsletter, okay, because that's where you're going to find out about stuff at stjohnsdemocrats.org, and that's on here. If you want to volunteer in a way that I haven't spoken about here, there's a volunteer form on the website that you can go in there and check off, and also indicate whether or not you might be interested in running for office, and give donations. Every single one of us are volunteers. And we only are able to keep the lights on and do the work that we do through your donations. So recurring donations are key for us. Okay, stay on that slide. And let me catch up with my handout. So, as I mentioned, we have all of these meetings will be open to the public for the duration of the year, and every single one, we have candidates speaking. Our next one is Angie Nixon, who is a candidate for U.S. Senate. You all know her from the Florida legislature. And then in May, we have 2 more candidates, Mark Hegestad from CD5 and Ronnie Manercha Rivera, CD6. And then again in June, Andrew Hazen from CD5 and Jennifer Jenkins from CD6. And then in July, I believe that we have, it's not official yet, but Alex Vindman for U.S. Senate. And while I am on the topic, I introduce other candidates in the room. Where'd you go? Susanna Pavel, who was probably working the table outside, is a candidate for Florida District 19, and we are thrilled that she's running. We don't have a lot of time to get this done. Okay, the primary is August 18th. We have 4 months to do this work. Next slide. Okay, coming up, March 28th is the next Snow Kings March. The one a year ago, we had 2,500 people. The one 6 months ago, we had 4,000 people. And the one coming up, we're going to blow the doors off the place. We will have a tent. We'll have a table there. We're looking to recruit candidates. I mean, we're doing this work. We need candidates to run for the Florida legislature, which is now the Republican supermajority legislature, where Democrats can fight all day long, but at the end of the day, they have a supermajority, and we need to break that. So if you know of anyone who might be interested in running for office, have them fill out that volunteer form where they're interested in candidate, and our candidate support committee will be in touch with them. We will also be doing vote-by-mail registrations there and promoting vote by mail. Next slide. All right. This is a change, an operational change that I want you all to be aware of, but one of the tools that we use has been Mobilize, where you find out about events. Well, Mobilize happened to be owned by a venture capital company, and we all know what happens then. So the Florida Democratic Party decided it did not want to be held hostage to the confiscatory amount of money that Mobilize was charging them. So we are switching to Solidarity Tech. We're working feverishly to get this done because Mobilize goes away March 31st. So what we need you to do is subscribe to the newsletter so you'll stay up to date, and then also the calendar on our website will reflect that. So it will be a little bit of a rough transition, but please know that we are on it, and that you just got to subscribe to the newsletter, go to the website for calendars, and know that this change is coming down pretty quickly. Next slide. All right. Can you click into that link there? Were we set up for that? Oh, we can't? Oh, okay. All right. The folks, Brian, do you want to come up and join me? Or anybody want to come up and join me? Do you have that handheld mic handy? All right. I want to bring to your attention, folks in the hallway, can you take it down a notch? We've passed some really dreadful bills in the last session. And what we didn't pass was a budget, which is what they're supposed to do. So now we have to go into special session. So Brian, can you just speak to the fact that voting restriction and when that goes to effect?
Yeah, so the Senate was working on their own version, 1334, I think it was. They went only one reading, realized that it was going to take too long, so they just took up the House bill, which was 991. The only good thing about that is the Senate bill went into effect July of this year. The House bill goes into effect January of 2027. So the SAVE Act did pass in Florida, but it's not going to affect the 2026 election at all. It has nothing to do with this year. So there's time for lawsuits. There will definitely be lawsuits. So we basically have, 2.5 years until the 28 election to deal with the SAVE Act. Other than that, it has some really bad provisions, but I wouldn't worry about it too much until the lawsuits settle down because I really don't think it's going to hold up. And if the Senate had passed theirs in July, that would have been a real problem for us. But since it's next year, it's much better.
Unfortunately, you can't click on that link, but that link is in every newsletter, and it's an interactive chart of pending legislation, where it is in the process, the House and the Senate, and high alert. We do our best to keep you informed in terms of what's going on with the Republican legislature. And while I got them up on stage, fans, that's all right. This is Brian Money, everybody. He is first vice president and data director of the St. John's Democratic Party. We don't know what we would do without him. Next slide. As I mentioned, we didn't pass a budget. So now we're back in special session. But could you close that door, please, Susan? Thank you. You can still call Ron DeSantis and voice your opposition. Ron DeSantis, who was term limited up and won't be running this term. So and there's his phone number. But we have got to change the complexion of the Florida legislature. It is so important. All right, and for the members of the room that are in the DEC and are online, the February minutes were sent out as an email attachment. Are there any objections? Okay, no objections? Okay, they're passed. Now, I finally have her. This is the third time I've tried to introduce her. Susanna Pavel, everybody. Susanna Pavel, yeah, come on up.
I didn't realize you were waiting for me. Sorry about that. Hi, everybody. I'm Susanna. I'm running for Florida House District 19. That's my husband, Brian. And I'm currently collecting petitions. So if anybody wants to help gather petitions, has a couple friends that are in the district is all of the island, downtown St. Augustine and St. Augustine going southeast of US 1. And then all of Flagler County.
But you don't need to live there to sign the petition.
Yes, you do.
You do?
Yes, yes. I have like 30 to 40% of the petitions I bring to the state supervisor of elections are getting turned away for bad signatures, or also if you put the wrong date. So suppose you put 2025 instead of 2026, or you're not registered to vote, things like that. So if you guys have friends, family, anybody you know, please help sign my petition.
We have she has the petitions outside. We also have them in the office.
Yep.
If you want to grab a handful of them and get your friends and family to sign them, you can do that too and return them to the office.
Yep, but more importantly, we have No Kings Day coming up on March 28th. Does everybody know about No Kings?
We just talked about it.
Okay, any questions? Please show up 9:30 to 11:30. Thank you.
Susanna Patel, co-founder of Indivisible St. Johns County. All right, next slide. We have a new precinct leader pending DEC approval. Hal Williford, please stand. All right, we are delighted to have Hal on board. He is a worker, and we love that. So I need a motion to approve Hal. Okay, you got that? Kathy and Jay. All right, Hal, welcome aboard. All right. Again, if you want to be a DC member, precinct leaders, just let us know. Next slide. This just came up this afternoon. Jennifer Jenkins, who is a candidate for CD6, will be in our office next Thursday at 1 p.m. She's calling it the Receipts Tour Roundtable. So it'll be at 71 South Dixie Highway at 1 p.m. I would urge you all to park in the back or park in the Winn-Dixie lot because the other vendors get crazy when we take all the spots in the parking lot. But it will be an informal meet and greet and questions, and everybody is welcome to attend. Next slide. Okay, time is running out, guys. We need everybody engaged. Please take this with you and get engaged. There's people outside that will give you a turf list and canvassing kit. Please take one, please take two. And if you have canvassing, you can call the office and get a turf number if you have canvassing kits ready to go. But we need everybody engaged. This may be our last shot at saving our democracy. Here, come on up. You got to speak into the mic.
I'm in the office for Action Tuesdays from 11 to 3 every Tuesday, and what I find out is people want to canvass, but they have to put an app on their phone. I'm there to help you. So if you come in the office of St. John's, I will help you put the app on your phone.
Put the mic to your mouth.
And yeah, I'll definitely walk you through the process. And I said I'd never do it. Absolutely not. And that lady right there one day was sitting there, Sherry, and she said, I'm going. And I said, if she can go, I can go. And she drove me around for the first time I've ever done this in my life. And I had a wonderful experience in Lincolnville and knocked on the friendliest doors. So the people that you would be talking to are all Democrats or NPAs. And it was I love it now. But I said I'd never do it. And I'm glad that I did, because it makes a big difference.
Great. Any other remarks from the audience? All right, next slide. I call this, anybody, did I hear? Come on up. Come on, Karen, because the people on Zoom can't hear you.
I did not mean to make a fuss.
Oh, don't make a
My
fuss.
name is Karen, and my question is, as much as I am so grateful for your energy, so grateful for your knowledge and your communication, I'm wondering if we're hearing anything from the National Democratic Party. Lessons learned from the devastating 2024, talking points, do's or don'ts to refresh and to focus our energies for the best win.
The answer to that question is yes. At the beginning of this new realm, Ken Martin came in as the new head of the DNC, and he was actually in town here when we had the special election in CD6, when Josh Will ran, which we didn't win, but we closed the margin by, I think it was 22 points, and we had 2 precincts go blue in St. Johns County. But, he recognized what's going on. He also recognized that the DNC in the last election cycle had abandoned Florida, and that's not going to happen now. Now, with that being said, the FDP is not awash in funds. I mean, we all, we need everybody to get engaged. I mean, hence the fact that Mobilize is switching to Solidarity Tech, which we think will be a much better, robust technology, but it's early on. But, Democrats have certainly made mistakes in the past, but we are far the best option we've got in this country. So we hear you, and we're all learning. I mean, we, the executive committee and the DEC, we pivot as we go because we realize there are things that we can do that we do better. So where we started and where we are now changes, but we think we're a pretty solid group. So I really want to give it up for my DEC, for my executive committee, Brian, Susan, she's out in the hall, Kathy, oh, there she is, Kathy Harnett, Director of Fundraising, Ruth Honig, Recording Secretary, anybody else? Mike Spade, Deputy Treasurer. Thank you all. Meeting is adjourned.